Hi there, I'm currently writing an article that I want to make open access, but I have no funding and there doesn't seem to be an open access agreement with my publisher. I'm also not a member of a faculty with a dedicated open access fund, like the Faculty of Environment and Technology. Does that mean I have to add my work to the UWE Research Repository to make it open access?
Sorry, I just overheard your question there. All those statements apply to me as well. Can I listen in?
Yes, of course. And you're right, you do. We expect all UWE researchers, wherever possible, to make their work open access. That means always adding it to the UWE Research Repository, even if it's been made open access on the publisher's website via the gold route.
Adding your work to a repository is the green route I keep hearing about, right?
Correct. If you make your work open access via any type of repository, a subject one such as archive, or an institutional one such as the UWE Research Repository, that's following the green route to open access.
And you want us to add it specifically to the UWE Research Repository?
Yes, we ask all UWE Bristol researchers to add their work to the UWE Research Repository so that we have a record of the research outputs across the university and are able to showcase the university's research. It also enables us to make sure that research is made open access in compliance with any publisher policies. You're welcome to add your work to a subject repository relevant to your discipline as well, but it's not required.
But do we have to pay?
No, the green route is for everybody, regardless of whether you have any funding or not. The disadvantage is that there might be an embargo, meaning that your research cannot be made freely available to everybody as soon as it's published. Publisher embargoes vary in length, but most commonly they're between 6 and 24 months, depending on the subject. Ideally, you would add a rights retention statement to your article before you submit it to the publisher, enabling you to add it to the repository without an embargo and with an unrestricted license.
So, practically, what do we need to do?
Here's a quick overview of the process. You start the publication process in the same way as normal, by submitting your manuscript to a journal. It then goes through the peer review process and hopefully gets accepted.
Right, so I've submitted my paper and it's been accepted, but I have no funds, so I need to add it to the UWE Research Repository. How?
We have instructions on exactly how to use the UWE Research Repository on our website. You can follow these in your own time, and they take you through the process step by step. The most important things to remember are that you must add the research article to the repository as soon as it's accepted. You should add the author's final peer-reviewed version of the manuscript, also known as the author-accepted manuscript. This is the version incorporating changes from peer review, but before publisher formatting has been applied, and it's not the publisher's PDF. And you must acknowledge the source of any grant funding.
Once I've added my article to the UWE Research Repository, what happens next?
The repository team will review every output added to the UWE Research Repository. They'll apply any required licenses or embargoes to the text and ensure that records are made publicly discoverable within 2 weeks of deposit. If there are any queries around the output, the team will add a comment to the repository record. As long as you have email notifications turned on within PIMS, you'll receive an email with these comments. If you don't hear from us, you can assume there's no problems, and you should see the record referring to your article, even if not the article itself, on the repository within 2 weeks.
Thank you, that was really helpful.
Great, thanks. I think I can make my work open access now.
Hopefully, you will indeed now be able to make your work open access. Just as a recap, here's the most useful information. Making your work open access on a subject or institutional repository is commonly referred to as the green route. All researchers at UWE Bristol are expected to add their research outputs to the UWE Research Repository. There are instructions on how to use the UWE Research Repository on our web pages. Remember to add the author's final peer-reviewed version of an article or output as soon as it is accepted. The repository team will make your outputs available on the repository, taking any publisher policies and embargoes into account. They'll get in touch with you if they have any additional queries. And don't forget to get in touch with us if you're unsure about anything. For more information, contact us at lib.rke@uwe.ac.uk or repository@uwe.ac.uk.
Created using Powtoon.